Alright, if I could have everybody's attention, go ahead and listen to this song for me and pay close attention to the guitars. So that's my band, and that's my music. My name's Lisa Marie Johnston, and I'm a singer-songwriter, and I've been playing guitar for about 10 years. And today I'm going to teach you about the guitar. Specifically, we're going to talk about the history of the guitar, different types of guitars, and then I'm going to teach you how to teach yourself to play guitar using chord charts. Alright, so let's get ready to rock here. We're going to first go into the history of the guitar. The first historical evidence that we have on record of guitars goes back to 3000 BCE in Mesopotamia. They were basically hollow-bodied stringed instruments, not really the guitars we know it today. In the 15th century in Spain is when guitars started really taking the shape that we know them as now. Then in the 20s is when they started changing again due to an effort to amplify the sound of the guitar. We started using steel strings, and it changed and made the sound a lot brighter. Then in the 1930s is when things really changed, because continuing the effort to amplify the guitar, two gentlemen named George Beauchamp and Adolf Rickenbacker invented a pickup, which is an electromagnetic device that you attach to the guitar, and it amplifies the sound of the guitar. And from there, in the 1950s, we began putting those pickups actually into guitars themselves, and electric guitars were invented. Alright, so now we're going to get into the different types of guitars. There's many types of guitars. First, we're going to talk about the classical guitar, which 15th century Spain, this is what we're talking about. It's a hollowed body guitar with nylon strings, and the nylon strings give it its distinct tone. So I'm going to play you guys a clip here. So it's a very distinct tone, the classical guitar is, kind of a little bit dull. And then as we get into steel string guitars, it's basically your classical guitar with steel strings on it, and the tone changes a lot. You can also use a pick with steel string guitars, which adds a percussive note to the sound. So here's an example of the steel string guitar. So you can actually hear the pick on the strings, and it's adding a percussive element to the sound. And the tone itself is a lot more bright. Okay. Now we get into electric guitars. There's two main electric guitars these days, the first of which is a Fender Stratocaster. So in 1951, a gentleman named Leo Fender invented the Fender Stratocaster, which, due to the pickups invented in 1931, eliminates the need for the hollow body of the guitar. So basically you just have the strings over a pickup, and it's a solid-bodied guitar. So 51 is when this was invented, and then this was followed by the Les Paul in 53. So Gibson had this invented by Les Paul himself in 53. Same idea, but a different guitar tone. So we're going to go back to the Fender here, and we're going to listen to, the Fender's known for having a very distinct blues sound. Stevie Ray Vaughan used a Fender. This is an example of the Fender tone. Okay, so each of the guitars have a different tone that's very distinct. And then if we move on to the Gibson Les Paul, this tone's different. And this is Slash from Guns N' Roses. And this tone is different and very distinct itself as well. Alright, and so now we're going to talk about how to play the guitar. It's really easy to teach yourself to play the guitar. All you need to do is go to Google and type in chord charts, and this is what will come up. And basically, chord charts are just graphs of the top of the guitar. So if we look at two specific chords, we're going to look at an E major chord and an A major chord. I'm going to grab my guitar here. So you have your square and you have your vertical lines. The vertical lines represent the strings. And then, oh, those were horizontal lines. And then the vertical lines represent the frets here. So where the dots are is where it wants you to press your finger down on the string. So for the E chord, it's telling me to put my first finger here and my second and third finger there on the second fret, and then you strum. That's an E major chord. It's that simple. Then for an A chord, it wants 3 fingers on the second fret on the second, third, and fourth string. So there's 2 chords. So once you have your 2 chords down, you just work on going back and forth. So 2 chords, there's a lot of songs that are just 2 chords. So the next is finding one. So what you can do is you can go to ultimateguitar.com or 911tabs.com and type in pretty much any song you can think of, and the chord charts will come up and it'll look like this. So this is Sublime's song What I Got, and it's 2 chords, the 2 chords we just learned. I'm going to sing it for you. Early in the morning, rising to the street, light me up my cigarette and I'll strap shoes on my feet. Gotta find a reason things went wrong. Gotta find a reason why my money's so dumb. So it's pretty easy just to teach yourself a song real quick. You just have to find a song with 2 chords and learn those 2 chords. Alright, so basically we've talked about the history of the guitar, we've talked about different types of guitars, and I've showed you how to play guitar. So definitely go out and teach yourself how to play guitar and rock on. Thank you very much for your time.